Hello, hello, and welcome to Chatting with C. I am your host, Miss C. How are y'all? What's going on? Hey, hey. I am super excited, of course. Y'all know that already. I'm super excited every time I do these videos. I say it every time I do a video because I am excited. The amount of work that I put into these videos and the content and knowing that that's the video that I'm supposed to do, the topic I'm supposed to cover, it's exciting. So I am excited. On top of that, I'm feeling very positive. I woke up feeling very much like, let's get it. Let's do this. It's happening. So I'm feeling very positive today. I'm feeling very, very good. So I hope that you are excited. I hope that you are having a great and awesome day. I hope that you're feeling positive and that you are feeling purposeful and in alignment and that you are enjoying your day. So, today's topic is quite interesting, aren't they all? I love them all. I just love all the topics because they're all so good. This one, however, was sent in. It was a question that was sent in. And then I was talking to a friend and they brought up this topic as well. And I was like, oh, interesting. I was working on that. So now I guess that's what I'm supposed to do because it seems like it's something that's happening. And then I realized for myself on this topic, ooh, I may not be that good at this either. Right? I am not good at a lot of things. And there are some things I'm really good at. And some things that can be improved upon, right? But we don't know unless we talk about it, unless we put it out there and, ask for help or say, hey, ring the alarm. Hey, I need a little guidance here. Can we be better at things? And so this topic is a really good one. And I think it will really help us in our new transition as we are continuing to evolve and transition into who we want to be in life, right? Okay, so I'm not going to necessarily read the question because it did come up multiple ways to me. However, it was brought the exact same way. The question that was emailed in, and then the way that it was brought to me with a friend. And it is how to set boundaries and not feel bad for setting boundaries with people that you love who seem like they don't want to respect your boundaries. That's pretty much the basis. So today's conversation that we're going to chat about is boundaries. And I think it's a good one because we often don't realize the importance of boundaries until later in life. And that's usually when we start wanting to set boundaries with people who have been around a long time. And then it creates a problem, right? And we end up right where we are right now, where people are saying, I feel bad. And, how do I get people to respect my boundaries? And, oh my goodness. And it's okay. It is okay. It's okay. You're aware. You're acknowledging it. You're taking some accountability and you want to do something different. And as long as that's what's happening, then we can change it, right? Those are the key steps here. And so I'm actually working on something with those. That's why I brought those up. Interesting. However, setting boundaries is not something that we typically grow up doing. We don't grow up like, oh, let me set this boundary. Let me make sure that, this boundary is set. By definition, a boundary is a line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line. That is what a boundary is, by definition. Now, obviously, in life, we're not setting physical lines as much as figurative lines, right? We're placing boundaries and we're saying, hey, this is going to be a no for me. Like, you can't cross this line, right? So that's fine. We don't really grow up doing that. However, I was thinking about it and I was like, well, I guess kind of we do in some areas. In school, we had the boundary, I guess that was set, that we didn't quite set. Our parents or whoever around us set it, that if somebody put their hands on you, that's a boundary, right? You can't put your hands on me. You crossing the line and now I got to respond. right? And so then we grow up with that same thinking, that same mentality. Don't you put your hands on me, I'm gonna haul off on your ass. Like it's whatever, kind of situation. Because of that as a child. And we've brought that with us in adulthood. If you're standing in the grocery store and Karen decide, she want to hit you upside the back of your head trying to get to a can of fruit, you're going to turn around and take off on Karen's ass, right? Because that's a boundary, that's a line that's been crossed that you're not for, right? Easy does it, right? So we do set boundaries, but we don't set boundaries in the space and in the sense of with the people around us all the time, because we often, here we go again with this, I don't understand. The light works all the time. It works every day, all the time. And then as soon as I start recording, the light goes out. This makes no sense. It's getting good. Thank you. Let's try this again. So we set those boundaries, right? Boundaries are to protect us. They're not to protect other people. Boundaries are to protect us. They're set in place to protect your peace, to protect your health, to protect your property, to protect your heart, your feelings, your emotions. Boundaries are put in place for that. And when we are growing up, we often are wanting people around us, right? And so we don't really have a lot of set boundaries. It's no big deal because we're still navigating things. We're trying to figure stuff out. And yeah, I don't like that, but it's cool because it's you, kind of deal. And then as we get older, we start to realize, this doesn't make me feel good. I don't like that. And so I want to change that. And now you're creating boundaries, right? Because you now want to protect something. And usually it's because you've done some work of some sort internally. You have fixed your property up real nice and now you want to protect it. So, now there's a gate. Don't cross my gate. That's a boundary, So it's okay, right, to be creating boundaries later years in life or setting new boundaries with people who've been around a long time. It's to protect you. You're growing. You're starting to become self-aware. You're starting to respect yourself more. You're starting to understand that you are worthy of these things. You're starting to see your self-worth. And so you're starting to be like, hey, that ain't acceptable no more. And that you should be doing. We should all be doing that. And it is okay because your real ones are going to stick around. Your real ones are going to support it and be like, oh, okay, this is how we moving now. Okay, let's get it. People who have a problem with you setting boundaries are the reason why you need boundaries, right? Which is probably why you decided to set them in the first place. Boundaries are important, and setting them is up to you. How you set them, why you set them, in what regard you set them, who you set them with is up to you. It's ridiculous. Here we go again. Oh, well. It's up to you. I'm reminded, I think a lot of people feel bad about setting boundaries because you seem to think that you'll lose people. And sometimes you will. And that's okay because they don't belong there anymore. They were, talk about this, people who were okay for back then, but where you're going and what you're doing now, they are not going to be a part of that. That's not where they're going. So it's okay. I think about at my house, I am a take your shoes off person. And I know a ton of people who are. Take your shoes off when you come to my house. That is a boundary. That is respecting my property. That's respecting my home. That's respecting my mental space because I worry about the dirt you track in and where your shoes been at and on my carpets and in the bathrooms. And so that's a boundary. Now, if you come over and you be like, no, I'm not taking my shoes off. I'm not, Sierra, I'm not taking my shoes off. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want you to leave. So it's okay, just leave your shoes on. Okay, so there was your line, and now I've allowed somebody to cross that boundary, right? And it's so interesting. This is what's interesting about something like this. We allow people to cross that boundary. And instead of those people thinking, hey, you know what? She did say no shoes. It is a rule, a boundary of hers. She did let me in. Let me just sit in one spot. No. Nope. You let a person slide. They gonna walk all through the house. They gonna be in the kitchen, the bathroom, your bedroom, up the hall, down the stairs, over there. Oh, got to go back outside to their car to get something new, to bring in some new dirt into your house, right? And the whole time you're sitting there having an internal war with yourself. I am, right? Because I'm looking at all the dirt. Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh, right. And there's nothing for me to be mad at this point, because I had already had a line that I allowed them to cross. And now they're just going to take full advantage, right? Because that's what people do. To expect them to all of a sudden limit what they do does not work. They're going to take full advantage of that. That's being so weird. Okay. Did I catch up yet? Okay, I think we're caught up. This is so weird today. There's a boundary. Do not cross my boundaries when I'm trying to get my videos in. Okay. They're going to walk all over everything, right? And now we're upset and we have to go through this whole thing. So now they leave. And now I got to clean and do carpet and wipe down floors and all kinds of stuff to put my pieces back together for my peace, for my sanity, for the way that I like things. So the next time they come over and I'm like, no, you really got to take your shoes off. Like, because I'm not, no, you got to take your shoes off. It's a rule. It's what it is. And they tell me like, nah, man, because last time I didn't have to. The time before that, you tripping. Like, you tripping. I ain't taking my shoes off. You now are at a place, right, of, well, do I just let them because I always have, knowing that that's going to make you feel upset, knowing that that's going to disturb your peace? Or do you stand on it and say, yeah, well, maybe I did last time, but it don't work like that no more and going forward. You come up over here, the rule is no shoes. If you got a problem with that, then I guess you don't need to be up over here. And leave it at that. People will decide if they either going to rise up and come with you or they're going to fall back. But when you're setting boundaries, it's important to know that once you set them, we have to stick to them. Because that back and forth flip-flop is where people decide, oh, no, I don't really have to follow it. Because now the person understands that, well, man, if I'm going to see her, she's going to make me take my shoes off. I don't even feel like that today, so I ain't even fucking with her today. Cool. It's fine by me, because I don't want to be in here cleaning carpets and floors 18 times because you done marched 18 times up in here. The boundary is set to protect me. It is set to protect my peace. It is set to protect my valuables, my assets. It is set to make sure that I'm able to operate in a space and in an area that is conducive for me. It's not about other people. And people need to understand that it's okay that people are going to get upset. It's okay people are going to be mad that you are starting to set boundaries. It's okay that they're going to feel like you being brand new and why you tripping now? Because I am new. I am growing. And the things that I allowed before, I'm not allowing anymore. And there is a new boundary. Let's get on. Let's set it. What we doing with it? And it's interesting because people get upset about you setting boundaries with them, right? They do. And the truth is because somewhere along the road, they feel like they can't set boundaries too. You should be setting boundaries too. Like, hello. I mean, if I'm doing something that's crossing a boundary to you, you should be setting boundaries for yourself. People don't know until you set the boundary. My mom and my grandma say all the time, we teach people how to treat us. You teach people how to treat you, Sierra. You teach people how to treat you. You accepting and allowing that, it tells them that they can do that to you. You teach people to do that. You. Ooh, I'd be like, oh, Lord. But then when you think about it, it's very true. And we teach them how to treat us by the boundaries we have or the lack of boundaries that we have. They are either going to be treating us the way that we want to be treated because it's very clear what you will and will not accept from them, and that you have no problem with walking away or cutting their ass off if they cutting or they crossing your boundaries. Or people are going to treat you in a way that you don't like because you don't have boundaries. Because, well, we can do anything to her because she don't care. Like, a lot of it, the lack of having boundaries has a lot to do with us not feeling worthy to say no to people, with us still wanting people's attention or still wanting people to be around. And so we will, not say the things that bother us. We will not set those boundaries out of fear of what is going to happen. But once you get to that place of life, like I said, you're growing and you're starting to blossom and you're starting to feel yourself, you starting to see that potential, you starting to move different, you want to protect that at all costs. And that's with anybody. Set those boundaries. It is okay that people do not agree. It is okay that people don't understand. The boundary is not for them to understand. It's not for them to agree with. This is about you. This is for you. This is a huge part of the self-love and self-care and all of that. This is a huge part. It's being able to tell people no, being able to tell people stop, being able to tell people this ain't gonna work. I'm done, I'm out, because you're crossing lines. But when you make the boundaries, make them clear and stand on them. Stand on your boundaries so that people know that when Karen knock you in the back of the head in the grocery store and you whoop her ass, when Karen's in the grocery store next time and she feel like knocking somebody in the back of the head, she see you in the aisle, she gonna think twice, like, okay, not her, because I already know she gonna haul off. Let me try this person over here. She's not gonna fuck with you again, right? Because she understands what the consequence of that's gonna be. Either Karen's gonna say, excuse me, I'm trying to get to the cans of fruit behind you, ma'am. Or Karen gonna go about her business. Or Karen gonna try to hit you in the back of the head. Karen gonna keep getting her ass whooped every time. Like, it's really, that's what it is. So it's just important to know. And as much as you're setting boundaries, be sure that you are respecting your friends and other people who are setting boundaries as well. I have friends, I like to smoke. It's a bad habit, it's disgusting. Actively working on quitting. But nobody around me smokes, like nobody. And when I get in my friends' cars, the boundary has been set from the very beginning. Like, we don't smoke in this car. No, ma'am. I don't care where we going, how far it is. Nope. Not happening. So I know that. That's a boundary. For me to get mad because today is Tuesday and I really want to smoke and now I'm mad because you won't let me is ridiculous. The boundary was placed. I know when I get in so-and-so's car, I can't smoke in there. It's not an argument. It's not a discussion. It's not a, well, can we just maybe today? Can I? Like, no. Now, have I asked people? Yeah, like, even drinking and I was like the passenger wanting to smoke. They was like, no, like, oh, okay. Big deal, right? No big deal. But it's a boundary that was set by the people that I hang out with, everybody around me. That's a rule. Like that just, some people it's like, they said it, and some people you just already knew. Like, I already know. Like, no. And I respect that. I smoke before or after, whatever it is. Now, the flip is I smoke in my car. Now, I do think, and I'm very conscious of people who don't smoke and don't like to be around it. So I typically don't smoke when people are riding with me. However, if you get in the car with me knowing that I am a smoker, to get in the car and then all of a sudden have a whole conniption field day with somebody because they're smoking makes zero sense. You knew you got in the car with a smoker. I don't understand. Common sense. Like, some of this, use your common sense with your boundaries that you're setting and what you're expecting of people, and then what people are expecting of you with their boundaries. Because it's important. It goes both ways and it's okay. And if somebody got a problem with you setting boundaries, ask them why they don't feel like they need to set none. Only people who are benefiting from your lack of boundaries get upset. Which is interesting because they're getting everything. They feel fine. They're A-okay. But you're hurting, you're miserable, you're unhappy, you're uncomfortable, your stuff is getting tore up, your heart's getting trampled on, your mind can't slow down from over here, over there, and these people are just having the time of their lives all over you with no boundaries. And then when you set them, it's like, oh, how dare you? Yeah, because the party's over. Whoop, party over. They will find somebody else that will allow that. And if that's the case, let them go do that. Because you are worthy of more and you are worth more. And setting boundaries is not the end of the world for these people. Okay? Let them go about their business because it stops you from being great. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're trying to do, is be great. Hello. And we only want people around us who want to see us be great and who are trying to be great as well. So that would be what I have to say on boundaries. Set them, stick to them, and dismiss anybody who don't want to fall in line with them. And also be sure that you're respecting other people's boundaries as well and not challenging them. And if it's something that they're setting that you don't want to do that you're not with, that's okay too. You know what? I'm going to go this way. It happens. Everybody's, just because you were with somebody all this time and because you created all of this doesn't mean you have to stay there for the rest of your life, or that it wasn't real if you leave, or that it didn't mean anything, or it was what it was when it needed to be there. And if setting boundaries means that the relationship ends, the friendship ends, if it means that you and the neighbor ain't cool no more, like if that's what it means for your peace and your sanity, then that's what it means. And that's okay. Be okay with that part too. Because as you set boundaries, people are going to fall off. People are going to disappear. People are going to be offended. They are going to try all of that. Stand on what you know is right for you. The rest will fall into place. You will meet people who have boundaries too. You will meet people who respect your boundaries. You will meet people who like, girl, you better set a boundary. Don't let him, don't let her. Those are the type of people that you want. Not the people who are like, oh man, just let him one time. Hey man, you been let, just go on. When you know you want something different. Boundaries are good. Boundaries are needed. They're necessary. They're required to get to the next level in life and to keep getting to the levels and to keep going and evolving and rising up. They are needed. And you're going to continue to set boundaries, and you're going to continue to revise boundaries with people and with yourself all the way up. You have to have boundaries with yourself. What? Yeah. Crazy. So that's what I would have to say on setting boundaries. How to not feel bad is that it's for you. And anything that's for you, you shouldn't feel bad about at all. Ever. Like ever. Like never. So hopefully that helps someone. And of course I have a quote. Of course I do, because who would I be to do a video without a quote that goes along with setting boundaries? So this one is Gerard Manley Hopkins. Your personal boundaries protect the inner core of your identity and your right to choices. And they do. Your boundaries absolutely do. They help you to make choices and clear choices and to be clear on them and confident while making those choices. And they protect you. So never be afraid to protect yourself. Set your boundaries. I believe in you. All right. Well, that's all I have. Have a great and awesome day. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure you like and subscribe and keep posted because we've got a podcast on the way. Yay! So we can really chat. So I'm working on it, getting it all set up. And as soon as I do, you guys will know about it. So stay tuned for that. I am super, super excited about that. Oh man. My talk radio. Shut your mouth. All right. Have a great day. Set your boundaries. Stay positive, and just make it a good day. Have a great week. Thank you.